I think the best way to put it is if you ever had that experience where either you worked at an electronics store or you were present at an electronics store and you had someone come in and ask for that new Mario game on PlayStation 2, that's how it feels. Like, it seems like it's just not real, and it's so outlandish and so crazy that it couldn't possibly be anything more than a mistake, than someone's miscalculation, than someone's jumping to conclusions, than an assumption. But when you start to see more and more talk, more and more top tier journalists discussing games like Halo Combat Evolved on PlayStation 5, I think Xbox is just done. What's going on, everybody? It's GhostRobo. We've got a ton of details today on all of these games being considered for PlayStation 5, and I want to fill you in on the back and forth because it seems like some Microsoft employees are denying it. There's been some follow-ups, and this whole thing is just a big mess. We know a while back there was discussions on all of these games coming multi-platform, and that Microsoft internally was having this basically battle between two sides, one that felt, hey, we need to get our games on as many platforms as possible, and one that felt, no, our exclusives are important and we can still persist without losing our IP that is so near and dear to the Xbox brand. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about this, especially if you're a major Xbox player. I was huge in the 360 era, but I would say in the Xbox One era and the Series era, I've leaned more on the PlayStation side of things. I think the PS3 ended strong, and then the PS4 and PS5 have been my personal pick. But I still have a nostalgia and a love for Xbox, primarily because they're one of three. One of three. Think about that. It's not like Netflix, Hulu, Peacock, Paramount, Max. Like, there are three console manufacturers. We lose one, we lose a third of the entire industry. Freaking crazy, in my opinion. I don't want anything bad to happen to Xbox, and I think I want Xbox to keep all of these games. It started off with this big list from Tom Warren talking about Starfield still possibly launching on PlayStation 5, talking about Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition launching on PS5, talking about Age of Mythology Retold, Hellblade 2 for PS5, so much stuff, right? Jez Corden said, in my investigations, I can confirm that games like Age of Mythology Retold, Avowed, South of Midnight, Hellblade 2, and even Starfield are right now not in active development for PlayStation, despite being perhaps considered in meetings and discussions. So that's like, now this is the opposite of what Tom Warren's saying. Tom Warren went on to say, all of these things about the Xbox Showcase. Doom: The Dark Ages will launch in 2025 on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. New Gears of War will be announced, but that's Xbox only. Fable and South of Midnight are launching in 2025. Fable and South of Midnight are not coming to PlayStation, but the big kicker here, a remaster of Halo Combat Evolved is in early development and is also being considered for PS5. And that is sort of like that's like the call of death, right? That is like, oh my gosh, the Reaper has been summoned. If Xbox ever gives Halo to PlayStation, that is different than Xbox doing anything else. In my opinion, Microsoft can give Halo to Nintendo and it can be A-okay. Microsoft could even give Forza or Gears of War to Nintendo and it can be A-okay. Once we start talking about giving Halo to PlayStation, Xbox as a brand is basically disintegrating in our hands. It's like sand sieving through your fingers. There's no recovering it. Once the fall starts, it's over. At that point, Microsoft exists as they're a console manufacturer, but in my opinion, they're no longer a platform holder. They are somebody who makes a box that you can play games just like a Steam Deck, just like a PC. At that point, they lose so much of their origin, so much of their bread and butter, so much of their pride and joy in a way. And maybe that's very dramatic, but thinking about, it in a dramatic way, right? Like, obviously at the end of the day, Halo on PS5 isn't world shattering, but in the video game space, I think it is. Nate the Hate, another popular leaker, said 6 more significant major IP Xbox first-party games will be going multi-platform. It started off with Grounded and Pentiment, and it's like, okay, Hi-Fi Rush, like, not a big deal. I mean, we freaking shut down Tango Gameworks. We don't care about that game. Grounded, whatever. We're just trying to get players out there. It's a games as service title. Sea of Thieves, same thing. We just want more players. But you're going to talk about putting Halo on Xbox, and it's crazy. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel, hey, games should be accessible by everyone. Games should be out there for everyone. And I think we've come to like a fair middle ground between that ideology and the console exclusives for life ideology. And that's the PC, right? That's PC getting Xbox Game Pass. That's PC getting now a lot of PlayStation first-party IP. You know, Ragnarok just got announced. God of War is coming back to PC. We got Last of Us on PC, Uncharted on PC. There's a happy middle ground, which is the PC can share in these exclusives as long as we don't share them with the other console. Because once we go all like, oh, hey, you know, you want Spider-Man on Xbox, you want Halo on PlayStation, what's the point? What's the point of these different brands? Maybe they offer a little bit of graphical tweak here, a little bit of controller tweak there. There's not really much point. It's not really... Look, as somebody that owns a ROG Ally and a Steam Deck, I'm stupid for doing it. There's no reason that I need both. There's no reason. It's silly. And I don't want there to be no reason that I own an Xbox and a PlayStation. I want Xbox and PlayStation to both thrive. I think it's healthy for competition. I think it's healthy for game releases. And I think it's healthy for the fun of it. That we have games that are Xbox games. We have games that are PlayStation games. And then we have more games than ever that are multi-platform games. This takes another turn when a senior designer at Xbox apparently is speaking, you know, subtweeting effectively Tom Warren here saying, don't believe everything you read. Stop falling for the grift and engagement bait. Hashtag no leaks. And then subliminally again talking about Tom Warren saying, I consider him irresponsible, conveniently behind a paywall, isn't it? About Tom Warren's, you know, articles and his information. This is getting crazy. And I think what this shows, the back and forth, is that there is dissension within Microsoft and an uncertainty in the future, and people feel strongly about it. I mean, wouldn't you? If you worked at Microsoft and it had been your job to help, you know, shepherd the Xbox brand into success, and now some people are talking about, you know, we want to drop Halo to PlayStation just to cover our current losses, you'd be like, no, we can fight for this. We just need one good console launch. And unfortunately, Xbox hasn't had one good console launch since the 360. Their console has been plagued with problems, plagued with marketing mistakes, plagued with a lack of games, and plagued with miscalculations, unluckiness, whatever you want to say. Is it stupidity? Is it bad luck? I don't know. A bit of both. Got really no games planned for the Xbox Series X launch. That was a big mistake. I don't think that was unlucky. But maybe things were delayed behind the scenes. Still no peep on a lot of the games that were promised for this generation. But hey, it's not like Sony is pumping out tons of titles either. I think, man, it does seem like Xbox is heading down this dark pathway where they will become Game Pass. And that's the brand. Xbox is not the brand anymore because, yeah, you can get an Xbox, but it's a box. And maybe that sounds like semantics, but I'm serious. Like, it's a box at that point. It just does what a PC does, except less. Would you invest in a console box that doesn't have exclusives, but that... Why? Like, I'm utterly confused. If I had the choice between buying a PlayStation and an Xbox in a world where Xbox has Halo, you know, Gears, Forza, all this stuff is coming to PlayStation, but we'll still make the console. Why are you ever getting it? Crossplay is more prevalent than ever. You know, free-to-play games are more widespread than ever. I mean, at that point, just get a PC. If for some reason you don't want a PlayStation, get a PC. Why would you get an Xbox? Why would you get a generic box that plugs into your TV? I don't really know. You know, I'm more inclined to believe the Tom Warren and the Nate the Hate over Jez Corden. Nothing against Jez Corden. I just think it seems like there's more momentum on the side of more and more games going multi-platform. I think Tom Warren is very reputable. I think that Microsoft has to be considering this because they are currently not experiencing the success that they want and the success that they need after the massive purchases that they've made. I do think, though, if you have any hope of turning this ship around, you do not give Halo up. I know it's Halo Combat Evolved, right? Like we've had, you know, plenty of Halo since then. This is the first Halo, talking about a new remaster in early development being considered for PS5. I think that the sign that sends is just that you are giving up. And maybe that doesn't mean much. Maybe it's all just like a airy-fairy morale thing or a mindset thing. But I think if you're gonna basically like cut off the core root, like what made Xbox tick that first Halo? You're gonna chop that out. You're gonna give that away. I don't know. I don't see South of Midnight becoming Xbox's next big thing. I don't see Avowed becoming Xbox's next big thing. I don't see Towerborn or Indiana Jones or Age of Mythology Retold or Starfield Shattered Space. You lose Halo, and eventually you lose Gears. You what are you? And we can talk about all the faults along the way. Xbox should have invented more brands, more IP. They should have expanded. They should have done this, that, and the other thing. But the current state of affairs is that we have multiple major journalists saying Xbox is considering just about the entire cake for PlayStation 5. We've got a few dissenters saying no, they're not. And we have Microsoft employees lashing out subliminally and subtweeting. This is probably going to be messy. And of course, it is flaring up right before the Xbox showcase because something's about to go down. I really believe that. Xbox is about to present on Sunday, June 9th, and something's about to go down. We're going to see a direction being taken. Either they are going to double down and commit to these exclusives on Xbox, or it's going to be shown that they are really starting to move to be a multi-platform type company and move away from being a platform holder in the way that we traditionally know them to be. And maybe it's not Halo Combat Evolved right now, but we will see a movement one way or the other. We will see, if Starfield gets a PlayStation 5 thing, if there's a heavy multi-platform focus, it seems like the anticipation is that Xbox's showcase is going to be as much about multi-platform as it is, goodness gracious, I'm choked up here, as it is about Xbox games. Imagine if I told you about the Nintendo Direct. Like if I said the Nintendo Direct was going to be as much about Nintendo putting games on other platforms as it was about Nintendo games on Switch, you'd be like, holy crap, sky's falling. The sky very may well just be falling for Xbox. Don't give up Halo. I want Xbox to turn this around. I want Xbox to find a way, whether it's via this handheld console that's rumored to be, shown off on Sunday, whether it's a new console that tries a different twist, whether it's reorganizing how Game Pass works, whether it's, trying to generate awesome single-player games out of Bethesda and Activision. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's going to take. A leadership change, a Phil Spencer change. I don't know. But I don't want to see Xbox go down this path where they give Halo away, and that is sort of, like I said, a sieve. You're going to just disintegrate. Let me know if you agree, what you think in the comments down below. Maybe some PlayStation fans are excited to have Halo come over there, have Starfield, Indiana Jones. I know in some ways that's great. I do firmly believe that for the video game industry as a whole, whether you're a PlayStation fan, a Sony fan, a Nintendo fan, an Xbox fan, I think you need and want competition. You need and want 3 platform holders. I firmly support that. It's great to say, oh, games should be everywhere, games should be easy. I think the industry already suffers enough. And I think, in my opinion, the worst thing is that all these companies homogenize and we have one hive mind console. It just feels really icky, bad to me, and very ominous. I don't want Xbox to die. All right. Hopefully that doesn't happen. If we see a freaking Halo get announced for PlayStation 5 at the Xbox showcase, video game industry will be turned upside down. People thought like the video game industry was crazy when Jeff Keighley got PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox all on the same stage. Woo, big moment. No. This is the kind of stuff that you never recover from. Putting Halo on PlayStation. In the meantime, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Drink some hot chocolate, and we will see you all alive.